Good morning and welcome to the shop. This is a 12-volt lead acid battery. It weighs a lot. The power density is very little. The current capacity is okay. This is also a 12-volt battery, but it's really light and it can charge down a lot or something. I don't know, it's very late. Oh, Tyler showed up in his Thunderbird. Wow!
Wow.
So if you watch Tavarish's channel, you'll notice that he's been rebuilding a McLaren. Well, we don't have that kind of budget here, so what we're doing is we've got McLaren battery. This thing's like $1,000. Six. Where'd they put it?
There's
Is there $5,000 glued to the bottom of this?
I don't know. Let's take it apart and find out.
Yeah. So this is the battery out of a late model McLaren that does not work. This thing is dead. And so we're gonna open it up and see what makes it tick. But it's late and we've had a few, so we're gonna do it with a Dremel. And well, we've got an emulsion bucket and some sand, so it'll be fine. Probably.
Also, it's out of a 570, so.
You're one of those. It's not the one that's named after a video format. The hell was that?
Not the battery.
I don't know. Also today, Aging Wheels released a video where he lithium swapped his Ryobi. So in the spirit of that, I fixed it. It actually fits quite well. I actually do plan on building a battery for this. I have, so this is lithium already. It's Ryobi's 40 volt architecture, which is actually 38 volts. 40 is the max charged voltage. And I have 3 of these batteries, and these two just killed themselves for no reason. They're not that old, but they are just slightly out of warranty. This is like a 6 amp hour that I bought a little over a year and a half ago. And this is a 5 amp hour that came with, no, this one was actually already dead. Sorry. But this, when I got the lawnmower, that is the 4 amp hour that came with my Ryobi chainsaw. And this thing's already killed itself just by using it. Apparently, if you don't immediately stick it on the charger when you discharge it, the BMS will not let it charge. So I mowed the lawn, let it sit over the weekend, and then put it on the charger, but then the voltage had dropped below the safe zone that it will let it charge at, because the safe zone and the cutoff for discharge are like the same. So then it sat on the charger all winter, not actually charging or anything, and now the cell voltage is like 0. Or at least that's what I get when I put a meter on it. So I need to open this up as well with its stupid tiny little security, T4 Torx. Supposedly there's a jumper in there that will override the BMS and let it charge again. My thought is that I'm going to take 2 of these batteries and combine them. I don't know why I'm saying all this. That's another video. We'll get there eventually. Basically, I want to build a 10 amp hour battery for this thing. Or maybe just build a new battery from scratch, see if I can overvolt it and put like a 42 volt battery. What is this? Probably a 10S? 10S lithium? 6 amp hour, 216 watt hours. Yeah, it's a 12S. 12S battery. No, that would be 42. It's a 10S. This is a 10S battery. This is probably 10S2P because they don't make 6 amp hour cell 18650s. So this has 20 cells in it. Yeah, that makes sense. That jives with the shape. What the hell were we doing again in this video? All right, let's go then. Why is there a piece of 2x4 just drilled into the wall? I've never noticed that before. What is that for? Oh, also fun fact, if you have an Anker power bank and it is refusing to charge things, if you plug it into itself and press and hold the power button, that will reset it. I couldn't get my camera to charge, so. I've got an Anker power core slim 10,000 that is on a mount, permanently mounted to my camera so that I never have to think about charging the batteries. Anyway, so we're just going to try and take the lid off. The goal is to not cut deep enough to hit anything important. Pretty sure
or set this thing on fire.
Yeah. There should be very minimal chance that we somehow bridge a positive to a negative. Worst case, we damage the BMS PCB, which we don't care about, or we just cut a wire, probably a balance lead, which we also don't care about because...
I care.
Do we?
I don't know.
What's the goal here, actually?
To see what's inside.
Okay. My goal is to kind of like... I want to take this apart and like test the cells and see if we can reconfigure this into something that's actually useful. Because this is what? What were the specs again?
It's 12 volt, but also
13.2 nominal, 58 amp hours.
So also, I was working on a 222S class. I'm a Benz tech for anybody that hasn't figured that out yet, they have the exact same battery, which is like a quarter of the price. But it's the same. It just doesn't say McLaren. It has a Benz star on it. You can buy like a $300 module that plugs in. So on the McLaren batteries, yeah, they have an internal BMS, but they also talk through CAN bus, and the car will get extremely pissed off if it can't talk to anything.
I wondered what that was. I figured.
Yeah,
it was
so this
sort of
is BMS. So this is for the car's CAN bus and battery management and all of that. The car that this came out of actually received just a regular old AGM H8. I think this is what the style is, and yeah, it was like a $300 module, plugs right in, no programming, nothing, and it pretends that it's the McLaren lithium battery. So there's a similar module available for the Mercedes, but yeah, literally this is the exact same battery as the S-Class. I think 16 and up, something like that.
Do the S-Classes also talk on CAN bus?
Yeah,
okay.
They do. So, I mean, likely a different protocol, but also I wouldn't put it past the manufacturer, just make the same battery.
Yeah.
And everybody else has to get with the program. So
that's pretty cool.
So getting into this thing, we tried, a few weeks ago, I was using a...
chisel.
Well, not a chisel, a flat tool. It wasn't a chisel, it was thinner. But I was trying to just kind of break the bond up near the top. Didn't really work out, so we come to a Dremel. I'm going to try and go around the edges so that we can just pry the lid off and maybe have a hope of putting this thing back together in some sort of functioning capacity. But that's probably out the window. So worst case, I will. You can see a little indent right around the top where it's been thermally bonded. So yeah, worst case, I'm just going to cut along that and we'll be in it.
It's been thermally bonded, so we have to mechanically unbond it.
I have a hammer.
Let's just put that in this case and sell it to an unsuspecting McLaren owner.
I like your style.
I think we need to pry the sides off of it.
Yeah.
Hey, look, pry bars. Right here.
Hammer? Hammer.
Actually, hang on, that's a bit excessive. Here we go.
Oh, hey, that one inside.
Cool. Hey, I can see some juicy innards. The camera can't see shit though.
Yeah, there's the BMS.
Looks like some fets. That is... So those would be for balancing, most likely.
Yeah.
Whoa, those are swollen. Holy crap. 650s.
There you go.
Holy crap.
Yeah, those are probably bad.
Let's take the bottom off.
Yep.
I think...
That's why we couldn't get the top off.
Well, see, I think if we undid these, the top would have, and all the guts would have slid out from the bottom. So I think we want a T25 security bit. Yeah. Woo! Let's see if that's showing any voltage whatsoever.
What are you doing?
It smells weird. I'm dying of like brain damage from the amount of plastic smell over here. But also, I want the BMS most certainly has either died, fried, or just cut off voltage from the batteries to the terminals up here because they read. Oh no, they read 1.6 volts at the terminals. But then directly off the cells themselves, I'm curious what we've got. 2.1, 2.2. So that would mean each cell is probably at like 0.4 of a volt.
Oh.
Not great for lithium ion.
Dead.
I would like to take this apart, but I don't want to do it by cutting. I'd like to disassemble it whatever the right way is, because I'm very curious what these cells look like.
I don't think there's any right way.
Yeah, I think that's welded together.
Yeah.
I mean, fortunately there's these plastic blocks here, so we can cut through these bands at least, and then just undo the bus bar connections. Oh, this one runs all the way over the top and comes through to here. Interesting. So this must be the... Yeah, this is the positive, this is the negative? Okay, yeah, this is the negative here. So let's undo this bus bar, make the whole system inert, and then go from there. So it looks like I need a 8 and a big old Torx. T30. Okay,
Yeah,
so it is a T30, but this one is very unhappy.
Put all your Jake into it. Hey, look at that.
It's not like it's going back together anytime soon. And then my 8. Okay, so now the BMS is disconnected from...
What?
The cell's moved.
Oh. You probably relieved some tension.
Yeah.
Imagine what they're gonna do when we cut the bands.
There's a lot more going on in here. Oh no, they are pouch. These aren't prismatics. These are pouch cells. Oh. Okay, so they're pouch cells arranged with the terminal strips on this side folded over and welded together.
I mean, it's light enough. We could have just, thrown it out the door.
If we threw it into the bed of the truck, it would take care of a lot of my problems all at once. I don't know if I need to undo these, but I'm going to anyway. Also, it's more bolts for my bolt bag. Or, yeah, my hardware bag.
It's the last thing you need. Wait, is the top plate coming off?
Yeah.
Oh.
Since I unbolted the terminals, now there's pretty much just these two 10s here.
Yeah, this isn't exactly Rich Rebuilds level.
Yeah.
But,
Want to build your own battery?
oh yeah.
Car battery? So, yeah, we've got the huge positive terminal bus bar.
You see that?
Decently thick steel.
Sure that's not aluminium?
Uh,
I don't know.
oh no, that does feel aluminum.
It's probably some exotic metal. Yeah. So I'm gonna set this down so we can
So yeah, these are
cut those bands.
spot welded.
Yeah, we'll just cut.
Oh
them
hey,
spot weld.
it is labeled. There's a little plus here for positive. Is there minus on the other side? Yes. I could have just looked at that. Oh well. So let's see. We've got the BMS here, which also includes CAN communication, so it's a little bit more sophisticated than your average home gamer BMS. What do we got? Any recognizable chips?
BMS, is that bowel movement simulator?
Yes. So this battery is made by A123 Systems specifically for McLaren and Mercedes. Everything is pretty potted here. There's potting compound over all of these ICs. We've got 3 SMD ICs up here, and then a couple more what look like timers and voltage regulators over here. Big old resistor array that probably has something to do with the balance charging circuitry, and I have no idea what these FET looking things are. I mean, they're probably just FETs, honestly, for controlling
there's probably as many FETs as there are cells.
Yeah, so each FET package probably switches the voltage around to because what balancing effectively does. There's 2 types of balancing. There's balancing when it's in use, and then there's balancing when it's just sitting there. When a battery is balancing when it's in use, it is kind of directing voltage around to the cells that need it most. When a particular cell or group of cells reaches charge, that one is cut off from the incoming current, and the other ones are allowed to come up to its level. When it's discharging, it does the same in reverse. When the battery is just balancing while sitting here, I think it's actually using the cells to charge each other. So an overvoltage cell would be connected to an undervoltage cell and allowed to charge it.
Are they?
That's my understanding, at least. So these are our balance leads, and that probably includes some temperature probes as well. I see a couple really skinny wires here going to these 2 wires. Those
are probably your temp probes.
Are probably temperature probes. That's another thing that a BMS will do when the whole pack gets over voltage from being overcharged, under voltage from being over discharged, or gets too hot. It'll cut off the current completely. Or just cut off the current to the affected sub-packs, maybe. I don't think many BMSs work that way.
But it looks like all of the cells are toast.
Yeah, I don't think anything here is savable, which means we're gonna have to find a way to dispose of this responsibly, which I'm not entirely sure how to do that.
You have a shotgun, right?
I do. On this episode of Demolition Ranch, McLaren parts. Look at this whole thing is potted, probably for some level of water resistance.
Even though the whole thing is sealed.
Very shiny.
Yeah.
Nothing much of interest on the back. It's just a 2-layer circuit board. Nothing particularly state-of-the-art. Nothing looks broken on this board, though. Nothing looks burnt or singed or anything like that. Thick copper. Looks like a plated copper.
Oh, dude. Nice.
That's like $2 worth of copper in there if it's that thick through the whole bus bar.
Thick boy.
Thick. Okay, and that just leaves us with the cells. So you can kind of see
I can
the
see
edges
the
of them.
in there.
Yeah, so I guess...
Let's unleash this beast.
Yeah, I guess we'll just cut these in the safest area possible. You want to hand me the Dremel?
Are you going to do that?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Hell yeah.
I
Do it.
Oh god, it's hot from cutting that open.
Yeah.
I don't like that
You gotta do it.
in the slightest.
You gotta do it.
I don't think I do.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
So you know how Aging Wheels does everything like by the books and correctly and safely with a lot of research beforehand? This is the opposite of that. These are just to keep things from flying at me with high velocity. I should probably wear them though, but... Okay, ready?
Yeah, go for it.
I hate this.
Whoa! The suspense is killing me.
This thing is dull.
Well, I mean, I just chewed through 3 miles of plastic. Come on. Yeah, don't Dremel my face. Okay, we're good. You're safe. You're alive.
I hated that.
You survived.
That was awful. Okay, what is...
Lots of bad smells.
Yeah, that genuinely smells horrific. So it's all glued together. That's what we're smelling, is the glue ripping apart between these cells. But these are massive pouch cells. It's assembled with all of the positives and negatives at the top here. So they're big, long pouch cells. It looks like there's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh,
11,
they're assembled that
12.
way.
Yeah, and all of the. So I could probably see the weld joints if I take these off, and I could show you that a little bit better. And then I can show you what the terminals, how the terminals are welded together, and what the balance leads look like. Yeah, looks like we got all our positives on one side and our negatives on the other, and so it's one. Let's see here. Hang on, I've got to wrap my head around how this is laid out. It looks like it's...
Jake is doing important calculations.
Oh, wait, not 12. So 4 in series, 3 in parallel. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's 12 cells. I'm working backwards from how many cells there are, because looking at the way these are is hurting my head. So these 3 are in parallel, these 3 are in parallel, these 3 are in parallel, and these 3 are in parallel. So it's 4S3P. 4 groups in series of 3 parallel cells. You can tell by looking at the bus bars here. Positives on this side, negatives on this side. Positive and negative, so that's one cell tied to the next cell, tied to the next cell. And then this cell tied. These are tied together. 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 And this group is attached to this group right here.
Oh yeah.
And then there's a balance lead coming off there, because each group of series cells is what's balanced. Yeah, each group of parallel cells is what are balanced against each other. So then the next group of 3 has a balance lead coming off of it. Next group of 3 has a balance lead coming off of it. Next group of 3, balance lead. And if you're hooking one of these up yourself, like I've done here, this is a 12S 1P, I believe. Your balance leads go in order from the group nearest to negative, and then you work on from there, if I remember correctly. Heaven knows if this battery is still any good. Yeah, we could put this on there. This is rough.
Is that the Insight battery?
Yeah, this is a Honda Insight Hybrid 2019 battery pack with a Dali BMS. The Dali BMSs kind of have some issues. This thing's been sitting for a while. I did discharge it to about 60% state of charge before putting it in storage, but I doubt this thing's any good anymore. There you go. This is as far as we're gonna get. Oh,
it's a nice accordion you got.
the comments are going to be very interesting on this video, I think. But yeah, there you go. That is 57 amp hours of very, very expensive McLaren battery pack. I'm going to go inside and Google how to safely dispose of this, because it scares me.
As it should.
And I'll see you in the next video.